The media is fawning over Governor Tim Walz's speech at the DNC and took note of a different kind of energy in the crowd.
What's really been fascinating is to watch the men of the Democratic Party model a kind of masculinity that is simply 21st century masculinity.
He is a political professional. He is a very deft political communicator. And that was a 10 out of 10 effective speech.
There's a distinction between what I would call a cheaper patriotism and a deeper patriotism. There's a deeper patriotism here. It's not just the rah-rah stuff.
It's okay in 2024 to be a man comfortable in his own skin who supports a woman. And that's something that they really are trying to work on with male voters.
Fox News contributor Joe Concha joins me now. Joe, this obviously was an attack on what's called toxic masculinity, or at least that's what they call it, and sort of a touting of 21st century masculinity. But when we interview veterans, those who have actually fought wars overseas, they all say they worry about what 21st century masculinity means for our ability to fight the next war. Why is the media celebrating it, Joe?
Because they also are beta males and whatever you would call a female that doesn't embrace men who are just being men, right? I mean, it's just everything about this convention is just so weird, guys, in general. Obviously, the media coverage just continues to debase themselves as if there's anything left to debase at this point. And there's no getting around it. I mean, Tim Walz is a weird guy making weird arguments. I mean, for example, he was talking about that. Let's put it this way. There was a time in this country that if you were poor and you worked your way out of poverty and you did so well that you got into one of the top schools in the country, like a Yale, that was something that every American, regardless of political ideology, would celebrate. Except for now, apparently, today's Democratic Party and Tim Walz, who said this last night, quote, "I had 24 kids in my high school class and none of them went to Yale." Well, yeah, J.D. Vance worked his way out of poverty and went to one of the top schools in the country, and somehow that's a bad thing. And then obviously J.D. Vance also joined the Marines as well, which apparently I guess is also a very toxic masculine thing, unlike Tim Walz, who ditched his unit before they were deployed. And again, the DNC's introductory video last night, guys, for Tim Walz also said that he was a command sergeant major in the National Guard. That is a lie. Meanwhile, we heard the word joy, speaking of masculinity, on day 1, 11 times, day 2, 18 times, day 3, 30 times. Meanwhile, we heard the word Trump hundreds of times over the past few days, and the word Biden, by the way, the name anyway, very few times, as if the last 3.5 years never existed. So again, this has been a weird convention. It's been a convention where we've heard lie after lie, and I don't think this is resonating the way MSNBC and CNN and other outlets think it is, because this is just some weird stuff we're seeing on our screen and weird stuff that we're hearing.
And Joe, on the military stuff, I did hesitate to ask that question because I did not fight and serve our country, but 50 Republican veterans did, and they said the following: to be blunt, when you falsely claim military service that did not happen and abandon your post, you diminish the real sacrifices made by veterans who did serve in combat. Again, that's coming from 50 Republican veterans.
Good thing to read. So, Joe, the other thing is, man, the speeches are so late, and I mean, these swing states, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Michigan, they're all on East Coast time. A lot of people just can't stay up that late to watch them, so then they rely on the media coverage of the speeches and the DNC. And if you look at the Washington Post, New York Times, it's all glowing coverage. How much of an impact might that have when it comes to the next round of polling that we'll see?
Well, it may have a little bit, I suppose. We're seeing in the betting markets, Donald Trump was down 10 points before the Democratic National Convention. And now in Polymarket, for example, he's up by 6. So you wonder, like, wow, I've never seen a shift before during a convention where it seems to be going in the other direction. And again, to go back to the weird theme, Kamala Harris was watching her VP speech last night. That was from her hotel room. She also didn't watch her husband's speech last night because she went to a rally in Wisconsin. It's just, again, weird that she wouldn't be there. But to your point, Carly, Pennsylvania and Michigan, Georgia, North Carolina, key swing states, people aren't up watching this live. They see the media coverage instead. But I don't think the messenger, as far as the Washington Post and CNN and all these outlets we talked about, everybody knows they're in the tank for Democrats. So I don't think it has too much of an impact on the voters that matter, who know that they're being fed exactly what hardcore Democrats want to be heard instead of what's actually happening. And I think people are smart enough to do their own research and look at all the clips and make their own conclusions. So I don't know if it'll have that much of an impact, guys.
Joe has a book signing tomorrow at the Little Point Bookshop in Point Pleasant, New
That's
Jersey.
So fun.
We love the Point Pleasant.
Yeah.
Good people down there.
Yeah, it's great. Dana has ties to that bookshop, and the woman who owns it, Kelly, is so
That's
wonderful.
right, you were
so
there.
I'm sure you're going to have a great time. Go to the bookshop, and you can meet the great Joe Concha, who does our show and does a great job on it. Joe, thank you so much for joining us.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.